Good morning, first graders. Ready for a happy Monday. Happy Monday. It is Monday, May 4th, 2020. We're continuing with our Laura Numeroff series. Today's book is If You Take a Mouse to School. And we're also going to continue in science, talking about animals and different types of animals. Before we get started today, I hope you had a great weekend with your family. I hope you had some fun. I hope you relaxed. And I know it's hard to roll back into our lessons on Monday. I hope you're still in your pajamas. You see Mrs. Sheppard is in her exercise clothes because I'm going to be exercising when I finish my videos for today. Thank you so much for all your hard work that you're doing at home. I appreciate you taking your time each day to get our lessons done, because when we're not together at school in Walton Academy, if we don't keep going with our lessons at home, we're going to fall really behind in what we need to be learning in first grade. So I want to thank you for taking this time and working so hard with your families at home. Remember, Miss Thompson is doing the behind the scenes for me, and boy, has she had her work cut out for her. This is Miss Sheppard's third take on this video. Take one, there was a glitch with my technology. Take two, I started writing on the smartboard and the pen wasn't working. So this is take three in room 137. So if Ms. Sheppard looks a little bit tired, it's because this is the third time I'm working on this video, and I sure hope it works on this third try. Little music from Miss Carter. Couple of my favorites to get us rolling as we go into animals. Animals, let me hear you from home, and more animals. We all love animals. A couple of animal sounds. And we're going to move right into our Have Fun Teaching Animal song, where we've been talking about last week. We talked about different types of animals. We talked about pen please work. We talked about, thank goodness. We talked about mammals. We talked about birds. We talked about fish. We talked about, wrong slide, and that was a Miss Sheppard glitch, not a smartboard glitch. We talked about reptiles. We talked about amphibians. We talked about insects, and one group that was not a part of, I spelled that wrong. That's a Miss Sheppard glitch. It must be because it's Monday and this is my third time working on this video. We also talked about arachnids. So let's go back over our different types of animals. We have mammals, birds, fish, reptiles, amphibians, insects would be group number 6, and arachnids, spiders, that are not a part of our Have Fun Teaching song. Now, we started with just the first chunk of this song, and we're focusing on mammals. Last week, we said mammals have lungs that breathe the air. That means mammals have lungs that help them to breathe. They are warm-blooded bodies that have fur or hair. That means mammals have fur or hair. Mammals give birth to their living young. That means mammals, when they have babies, give birth to babies who are living. Mothers give milk to their daughters and sons. That means mothers give milk to their babies. Dogs say roof. Cats say meow. Cows say moo. Humans say wow. Monkeys say ooh, ooh, ooh. Horses say neigh. Elephants say pfft. Dolphins say, click, click, click. Move like a mammal. Now dance like a mammal. We talked about last week some different types of mammals are dogs, cows, monkeys, elephants, cats, humans, horses, and dolphins. Those are some different types of animals that would be classified as mammals. Now, we a little bit later in the week are going to get to the whole animal song, but for today we're just going to focus on that chunk about mammals. And as we're reading the books in the Laura Numeroff series, the books that we read last week, we found that our main character in each book was an animal that could be classified as a mammal. Let's go right into, I should hear you with me from home, Laura Numeroff, and more Laura Numeroff. Just show me the Laura Numeroff. That is a photo of Laura Numeroff, and we know she wrote the books in the If You Give A and If You Take A series. We're going to go ahead and do our little If You Give a Mouse a Cookie song. This is a clip from Amazon that we watched a little bit last week. And this one is short. See, that is an Amazon Prime video. That little video was from Amazon Prime, and Amazon now has a little group of videos that go with the books in the If You Give a Mouse a Cookie series. So that little If You Give a Mouse a Cookie song was from Amazon Prime. Now, we're reading the books in the Laura Numeroff series. Let's do a little review of the books we've already read as we go into our new book for today. We started last week with If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. Then we read If You Give a Moose a Muffin. If You Give a Pig a Pancake. And If You Take a Mouse to the Movies. And all of these books make me hungry, because I love cookies, I love muffins, I love pancakes. And Friday, If You Take a Mouse to the Movies, as the mouse was going to the movies, we had popcorn in our book, and Mrs. Sheppard is a popcorn monster. And I know my first graders, because we've had 2 AR parties, and we always had something to drink and some popcorn to eat. I know my first graders are popcorn monsters as well. Today's book is going to be If You Take a Mouse to School. So this is our second If You Take a book. And we're going to go right into our book for today, If You Take a Mouse to School. Let's go through our title. I should hear you from home. If You Take a Mouse to School. Author, Laura Numeroff. Illustrator, Felicia Bond. Genre, fiction. Genre, fantasy. Author's purpose, to entertain. So I'm going to turn my iPad over to my rocking chair so I can read you our book for today. You see Birthday Bear, you see Hot Potato Fred, and you see Flopsy waiting for me in my chair. If You Take a Mouse to School. Now, my teaching points for the Laura Numeroff series. First teaching point, the books we've read so far have been full circle books that had circular endings. In the books we've read so far, each of the main characters in each book, each main character, we also call the main character the protagonist. Each main character has been an animal, and each animal has been a mammal. As we're reading the books in the Laura Numeroff series, I'm asking you as readers, good readers are always thinking and making predictions, and I'm asking you to make some predictions as we're reading. We also have been focusing on sequence of events, or putting the events as they happen in the correct order. We've done a flow map with each book in the Laura Numeroff series. And something a little tricky, we've been talking about cause and effect with the Laura Numeroff books. In my first Laura Numeroff book, if you give a mouse a cookie, the cause is what happens, and giving a mouse a cookie would be the cause. The effect is the result. If you give a mouse a cookie, cause, he'll ask you for a glass of milk. The glass of milk would be the effect or the result. So I want you to be thinking about all those things as we're reading our next book in the Laura Numeroff series, If You Take a Mouse to School. I'm going to start with my book jacket, and then my title page also has my dedication page. And my dedication page today says, for teachers and librarians everywhere. LN, that's Laura Numeroff, and FB, that's Felicia Bond. And here's another title page that gives my title, my author, and my illustrator. And right into my book for today. If you take a mouse to school, he'll ask you for your lunchbox. Text to self, many of you, when you come to school at Walton Academy, bring a lunchbox. Lots of kids, when they go to school, take a lunchbox. That was a text to self connection. When you give him your lunchbox, he'll want a sandwich and a snack for later. Text to self connection. Some of you eat a sandwich for lunch. And in first grade, we have a snack time, and many of you go to your lunchbox to get your snack for snack time. Then he'll need a notebook and some pencils. And I see him packing up that lunchbox. He'll probably want to share your backpack too. I see him tucked inside as the little boy is headed to catch the bus. When you get to school, he'll put his things in your locker and take a look around. Now, in this book, the kids put their things in their locker. Text to self in Walton Academy, at Walton Academy in first grade, we put our materials in our cubbies. He might do a little math and spell a word or two. He'll even try a science experiment. So at school they did some math, some spelling, and some science. Then he'll need to wash up. You'll have to take him to the bathroom once he's nice and clean. He'll be ready for his lunch. Now I'm inferring that he's hungry. Character feeling, I'm having to infer, because he's done all that hard work during the school morning. On the way to the lunchroom, he'll see some building blocks. I wonder what he's going to want to do when he sees those building blocks. He'll build a little mouse house and make some furniture out of clay. He didn't have furniture. He needed furniture. character trait to describe Mouse would be resourceful. He didn't have furniture, so he made furniture out of clay. And then I see they're headed to the cafeteria. Then he'll need some books for his bookshelf. He'll start by writing one of his own, so he'll need a lot of paper. He'll probably use up all your pencils. And I see his book jacket for his book says, "Good night, Mouse," by Mouse. When he's finished, he'll want to read his book to you. Of course, after he writes his book, he wants to read it to you. Then he'll want to take it home. So he'll put it in your lunchbox and tuck it in a safe place. I see it tucked back there on the shelf. When the bell rings, Miss Sheppard, let me self-correct and reread. That's what good readers do when it doesn't look right, sound right, or make sense. When the bell rings, he'll run out to wait for the bus. While he's waiting, he'll play a quick game of soccer. Then he'll ask you to shoot a few baskets. Text to self, a lot of you when you go outside like to play soccer, and a lot of you when we go to the gym like to shoot baskets. And do a little skateboarding. When he stops to catch his breath, he'll want to eat his snack. I'm inferring he's hungry. So he'll ask you for your ... What do you think he's going to ask for? Make a prediction from home. He'll ask you for your lunchbox. And chances are, if he asks you for your lunchbox, you'll have to take him. I wonder what's going to happen next. Make a prediction. Where do you think he's going to want to go? Back to school. That was If You Take a Mouse to School by Laura Numeroff, illustrated by Felicia Bond. Now we're going to go back to our smart board. Give me just a minute to do my shift. And we're going to go into my teaching points for today. We did this last week, so this is going to be a little bit of a review, so I'm going to be going a little bit faster. Sure hope my pen works. Teaching points. The books so far in the Laura Numeroff series have had a full circle or a circular ending. The protagonist in this book, or the main character, was a mouse. We talked about last week, a mouse is a rodent, and a rodent is a mammal. And be thinking back to our animal song when we talked about characteristics of mammals. As we were reading, I asked you to be making predictions. Sequence of events, we're getting ready to go through the order of the events from the story. We're thinking about cause and effect. Cause is what happens. Effect is the result. And we're going to do this as we go through our flow map for today. So, here we go. If you take a mouse to school, this is a flow map showing our sequence of events, which puts our events in the correct order. If you take a mouse to school, if you do that, take a mouse to school, taking a mouse to school is going to be your cause. He'll ask you for a lunchbox. The lunchbox would be the effect or the result. Now let's go through our order of events. Mrs. Sheppard's going to put her arrows. Remember, you have this page in your packet at home. You can pause and go grab it, or you can just follow me from the smart board. Take a mouse to school. He'll want a lunchbox. If you give him a lunchbox, of course, He's going to want a sandwich. Think about what your favorite type of sandwich is. Then he's going to want a notebook and some pencils like we use here at Walton Academy. I'm going to arrow around. Then he's going to want a backpack like you bring your backpack to school. When he gets to school, he's going to put his backpack in the locker. We put our backpack in our cubbies. The kids in the book put their backpacks in the locker. And during school, they're going to do some math, some spelling, and a science experiment. During the science experiment, he'll get all messy, so he'll want to wash up in the bathroom. If we get messy in the classroom at Walton Academy, we wash up at our classroom sink. And after he washes up, he's going to be ready for some lunch. And on the way to lunch, he sees some building blocks, and he thinks, hey, I'll take those building blocks and I'll make a mouse house. Once he makes his mouse house, he's going to say, hey, I need some furniture. He doesn't have furniture, so character trait, he makes furniture out of clay. He's being resourceful. And after he makes his furniture, tell me, Mia, yes, he's going to need some books for his bookshelf. And what is he going to need next, Coda? Yes, he's going to need some paper and pencils for writing a book. Okay, Elijah, after he writes his book, what's he going to want to do? You got it. He's going to want to read his book to you. And Lawson, after he reads his book to you, what's he going to want to do? Give it to me. Yes, Lawson. He's going to want to put it in your lunch box. Okay, Eliza Lou, after he puts the book in your lunch box, what's going to happen? Yes, he's going to wait for that bell to ring, and when that bell rings, he's going to wait for the bus. Okay, Spence, while he's waiting for the bus, what's he going to want to do? Yes, he's going to play soccer, basketball, and do a little skateboarding. Okay, Damien, all that exercising is going to make him hungry, and what's he going to want? Yes, he's going to want a snack, so he'll ask for his what, Jonathan? You got it. He'll ask for his lunch box. And if he asks for his lunch box, City, what's he going to want you to do? Yes, take him back to school. Now, I notice that my book ended with take him to school. My book started with take him to school. What do I call that when my book starts and ends with the same thing? Give it to me, Wells. Yes, that is a full circle book. Instead of calling it a full circle, what else could I call it, Ben? I could say, yes, Ben, it has a circular ending. We started with school, we ended with school. Now that is our flow map for today, which puts our events in the correct order. Calls, if you take a mouse to school. Effect, he's going to ask you for a lunch box. Now we're going to go back to our book jacket, and I'm going to show you the clip for today. Remember, on the clip, you'll be able to see the illustrations a little bit better. So let's go right into our video clip for today.
If You Take a Mouse to School by Laura Numeroff. If you take a mouse to school, he'll ask you for your lunchbox. When you give him your lunchbox, he'll want a sandwich and a snack for later. Then he'll need a notebook and some pencils. He'll probably want to share your backpack too. When you get get to school, he'll put his things in your locker and take a look around. He might do a little math and spell a word or two. He even may try a science experiment. Then he'll need to wash up. You'll have to take him to the bathroom. Once he's nice and clean, he'll be ready for his lunch. On the way to the lunchroom, he'll see some building blocks. He'll build a little mouse house and make some furniture out of clay. Then he'll need some books for his bookshelf. He'll start by writing one of his own, so he'll need a lot of paper. He'll probably use up all your pencils. When he's finished, he'll want to read his book to you. Then he'll want to take it home, so he'll put it in your lunchbox and tuck it in a safe place. When the bell rings, he'll run out to wait for the bus. While he's waiting, he'll play a quick game of soccer. Then he'll ask you to shoot a few baskets and do a little skateboarding. When he stops to catch his breath, he'll want to eat his snack, so he'll ask you for your lunchbox. And chances are, if he asks you for your lunchbox, you'll have to take him back to school.
Okay, that was a good reread, and you could see the pictures a little bit better with that clip. Now, your assignment for today is you're going to do a reread of If You Take a Mouse to School. 2 ways to reread. You may listen to Mrs. Sheppard read again, or you may watch the video clip again. Once you do your reread, I want you to go back through your flow map, and I want you to read through the sequence of events. You don't have to do any writing. Just do a read through the sequence of events, and then I want you to take your AR test. Now, last night I went in AR and I looked at your scores, and I have a few of you, Flower Power, you've already met your AR goal. I have some of you that are getting close to meeting your AR goal, and I have some of you that haven't even hardly gotten started. So if you are in the behind group, you need to be reading and testing on these Laura Numeroff books so you can meet your AR goal for the 4th 9 weeks. This is a perfect time for you to do a reread after our video and get in your AR test to work on that AR goal. So some of you really need to step up and get to working on that AR goal, or you're not going to be able to join us for our 4th 9 weeks AR celebration. And I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't have it figured out yet, but we will have a 4th 9 weeks AR celebration for the people who meet their AR goal. It may not be when I would like to have it. It may have to come a little bit later, but we will have a celebration for those people who meet their AR goal for the 4th 9 weeks. And I haven't forgotten, I owe you a celebration for everybody met their goal for the 3rd 9 weeks. So I know I owe you a 3rd 9 weeks celebration that we will have. I'm not sure when it's going to be. It may be quite a bit later, but we will get to it. You've already earned. And some of you really need to get going if you're planning on coming to our 4th 9 weeks AR celebration. Now, this is a good stopping point for today. Today we read If You Take a Mouse to School by Laura Numeroff, and I need you to do your reread, go through your flow map showing your sequence of events, and I need for you to get in your AR test. That's going to be your job for today. I hope you have a happy Monday. I hope you enjoy your day at home. Thank you again for working so hard. I miss you so much. This classroom is just not the same without you. And you can tell my exercise clothes. I'm off to get some exercise. I'll be seeing you a little bit later for our math video for today.